Prince Harry's surprise trip to the UK didn't just cause whispers, it sent shockwaves through the royal world. And if you think the family was quietly sipping tea and smiling through it, think again, because behind those palace doors, the atmosphere was explosive. And at the center of it all, Prince William, who, according to insiders, has finally had enough. Yes, William isn't just irritated, he's furious. Not the shake your head and move on kind of annoyed. We're talking about red-faced, blood-boiling anger, and once you hear why, you'll understand why William might never look at his brother the same way again. So here's what happened. Harry waltzed into the UK like a completely different man. In California, he's casual Harry, the polo shirts, the baseball caps, the sunglasses, blending into the smoothie bars and wellness culture of Montecito. But the moment his feet touched London soil, out came the tailored suits, the royal strut, the HRH energy. Suddenly, he wasn't the laid-back Californian dad anymore. He was back to playing Prince, and that, more than anything, is what sliced right through William. Because let's be real, Harry didn't just visit, he performed. He put on a role as if the last few years of chaos, interviews, books, and Netflix specials never happened. He acted like he still belonged to an institution he himself walked away from. The same monarchy he's been tearing down piece by piece. And the kicker? He didn't give William so much as a heads up. No text, no call, no warning. Harry just appeared. PR cameras ready, flashing smiles as if he hadn't burned half the palace down already. To those paying attention, the message was loud and clear. Harry wasn't just coming back for a family visit. He was testing the waters for something bigger, maybe even a royal comeback. But William wasn't buying it, not for a second. To him, this wasn't a brother trying to reconnect. This was Harry once again trying to play both sides, wanting the prestige of the crown while sipping the California dream, wanting the titles, the photo ops, the spotlight, but also the freedom to sue the British government and complain about security while jetting around the world unchecked. It's that classic, have your cake and eat it too attitude. And William sees it more clearly than anyone. And then came the meeting. King Charles, soft-hearted as always when it comes to his youngest, welcomed Harry for a quick sit-down at Clarence's house. Just 54 minutes, that's it. But to William, it felt like a dagger to the back, his father extending grace while Harry extended chaos. Because let's not forget, Harry didn't just come for dear old dad. He squeezed in appearances too, like his flashy visit to a Ukraine memorial. Tears, statements, photo ops, the works. But here's the thing. He didn't check with the palace. He didn't consult with the family. He didn't even consult with William, the next king. Instead, he admitted he only cleared it with the British government and, of course, Meghan. And William can't wrap his head around that. Imagine it. Your brother, the same one who once leaned on you for everything, now making war zone trips with his PR team, ignoring royal protocol and putting the monarchy's image at risk. For William, it wasn't brave, it was reckless. Another sign Harry's living in a fantasy where headlines matter more than family healing. And the money? Oh, Harry didn't stop there. He dramatically handed over a $1.5 million donation to charity. Cameras flashing, press releases ready. Now don't get it twisted, giving to children in need is noble. But in the royal family, there's a golden rule. Support charities quietly. Do the work, but don't turn it into a spectacle. Yet Harry just can't resist. Every good deed comes wrapped in PR glitter, and William sees right through it. To him, this wasn't generosity, it was self-promotion. And if Harry hoped this trip would rebuild a bridge, well, he might as well have set fire to it. Because William no longer sees his brother as an ally or even the boy he grew up protecting. He sees a stranger, a man in royal cosplay, someone who abandoned the monarchy but still wants to play dress-up with its power. And to the UK public, many aren't impressed either. The sympathies run out, most have moved on, and William, it seems, has too. Behind palace walls, the silence was deafening. No text, no call, no attempt at reconciliation from William. And that silence, it spoke volumes. The divide between the brothers has grown so deep, so raw, that even being in the same country doesn't change it. But if you think it ended there, oh no, things were just getting started. Because Harry wasn't only inserting himself back into royal circles, he was choosing the most emotional ones possible. Take the Diana Award, for example, a charity event honoring their late mother, the one cause that once united both brothers. Harry showed up, alone, no William, and insiders say that wasn't by accident. It wasn't a scheduling conflict, it was a message. Harry walking into that event solo wasn't a tribute, it was a provocation. A deliberate move to reclaim Diana's legacy without William by his side. And that cut deeper than anything else. Harry's appearance at the Diana Award wasn't just a moment of remembrance. It was, in the eyes of many close to William, a stunt. Imagine it, walking into the very charity that symbolizes their mother's legacy. A cause the brothers once championed together and doing it solo. No coordination, no brotherly unity, just Harry center stage. To insiders, it looked less like honoring Diana and more like hijacking her memory for a solo act. And William? He didn't see a tribute, he saw a provocation. And if that wasn't enough, Harry then doubled down with the Ukraine trip. Now, Harry spun it as humanitarian, but let's be honest, it dripped with photo ops and carefully scripted statements. His words about siblings, emotional support, and healing, on paper, touching. But for William, those words hit like acid, because this is the same brother who aired private fights, accused his family of cruelty, and leaked stories for the world to feast on. Now suddenly he's preaching about unity? Hypocrisy doesn't even begin to cover it, and the contradictions just kept piling up. This is the man who dragged the UK government to court, claiming Britain was unsafe without royal security. Yet there he was in Kiev, strutting through a literal war zone days after missile strikes, relying on the very same government's protection. The audacity was staggering. To William, it wasn't courage. It was a mockery. A slap in the face to both the monarchy and the country. And let's talk about King Charles. His decision to meet Harry, even for less than an hour, didn't go unnoticed. William, the dutiful son, has stood by his father through illness, scandal, and the crushing weight of royal duties. He's the one carrying the crown's burdens, showing up day after day without complaint. And yet Harry, the same Harry who trashed the family in interviews, books, and Netflix specials, was ushered into Clarence's house like some long-lost prodigal son. That stung. It stung deep. To William, it wasn't just unfair, it was weakness. A king bending to fatherly emotions while forgetting the bigger picture, the monarchy's survival. William sees himself as the future monarch, the one who has to think long-term, and to him, allowing Harry back in, even for a 54-minute chat, signaled danger, because it showed Harry could burn the house down, then walk right back in through the front door. And the worst part, this wasn't a one-time slip, it's a pattern. The tell-all books, the Netflix deals, the podcasts. Every time the dust begins to settle, Harry reappears with something new. A fresh grenade lobbed at the family, a new stage, a new narrative. It's like a storm that never ends, circling back just when you think the skies are clear. For William, the trust is beyond broken. This isn't about one apology, this is about years of betrayal. Every press release, every carefully staged photo, every soundbite feels like manipulation. And William has finally stopped pretending otherwise. Even inside royal circles, the resentment is growing. Courtiers and aides whisper about Harry's two-faced approach. One minute he's rejecting royal duty, the next he's using Invictus, Diana's legacy, and even his UK charity appearances to rebuild his royal image. But without the sacrifice, without the discipline, without the blood-deep loyalty the role demands. It's a performance, and everyone close to William can see it. The speech in Ukraine was the final straw for many. Harry, speaking about siblings, about family, while the brother he abandoned shouldered the monarchy alone, it rang hollow, painfully hollow. William heard those words not as wisdom, but as hypocrisy wrapped in self-pity, because in his eyes, Harry still talks like a victim, but it's Harry who inflicted the wounds. Think about it. One minute Harry's launching grenades at the palace. The next he's back in London, handing out donations and posing for charity cameras. It's whiplash, it's manipulative, it's exhausting, and William has reached the point where he refuses to play along. And it isn't just William. Royal insiders, aides, even extended family members see it the same way. The whispers are getting louder. Harry wants the royal glow without the royal grind. He's trying to curate his image, stitch himself back into the fabric of the monarchy, but without the discipline, loyalty, or sacrifice that the role demands. Every move feels strategic. His Invictus Games connections, carefully spotlighted, his solo appearances at Diana-linked charities, calculated. Even his public speeches, crafted to tug at the monarchy's heartstrings while subtly painting himself as the lost prince, misunderstood and unappreciated. To some, it looks like branding. To William, it looks like betrayal. And then came the words that cut the deepest. In Ukraine, Harry spoke about siblings, about the importance of emotional support. To the outside world, it was touching. To William, it was salt in a wound. How dare Harry speak about unity while publicly tearing his own family apart? How dare he preach about healing while exploiting their mother's memory for his own spotlight? For William, it was hypocrisy at its absolute peak. But the bitterness isn't just about the past, it's about the future. William knows the day will come when he ascends the throne, and the thought terrifies him, not the crown itself, but what Harry might try to do when that day arrives. Will Harry demand more influence? Will he use Meghan as a wedge to force his way back into the royal spotlight? Will he turn every family moment into another PR opportunity? That's the nightmare William lives with. His reign cannot, must not, become a sideshow starring Harry and Meghan. The monarchy is built on stability, duty, and loyalty. And Harry's unpredictability threatens every one of those pillars. So William has made his peace. The brother he once laughed with, played with, leaned on after Diana's death, that brother is gone. What's left is someone he barely recognizes. And while the sadness is buried deep inside him, the frustration and duty are louder. William isn't dreaming of reconciliation anymore. He isn't waiting for Harry to change. He's moved on, because in William's eyes, the crown isn't about emotions. It isn't about family squabbles. It's about survival. And survival requires sacrifice, something Harry has refused to give time and time again. The conclusion William has reached is as cold as it is final. Harry has betrayed the monarchy, the family, and the trust that once bound them together, and for that, there may be no way back.